It was a very normal and quiet Friday evening. You know, the kind of evening where the red sun is slowly setting behind the trees, and you're just looking forward to resting your tired body after a very long week of hard work? My wife, Jenna, had invited me to go to dinner with the people she works with at her office. She told me it would be a very relaxed night out, and that it would be a very good thing for me to finally get to know her friends better. I agreed to go with her because I wanted to be a kind and supportive husband who shows up for his partner. I knew her office group could sometimes get a little bit loud and wild once they started having a few drinks together, but I really wanted to make her happy. We arrived at the big restaurant around 7 o'clock in the evening. At first, everything seemed very nice and harmless. Jenna was having a great time, and she was enjoying all the happy attention she was getting from her friends. But as the night went on and we started eating our sweet dessert, the feeling in the room began to change into something uncomfortable. One of her coworkers, a very loud man named Kyle, started a game where people compared their past partners to the people they were with now. He turned to Jenna and asked her in a half-joking way if she thought her old boyfriend had been better than me. I sat there and waited. I really thought she would just laugh it off or talk about something else to protect my feelings. Instead, she looked right at me with a playful smile and said, "Let's just say my ex was bigger in some ways." The whole table started laughing very loudly. Some of the laughs sounded forced, and some people looked very uncomfortable and looked down at their plates. Her words felt like a very sharp blow to my heart. What she tried to say was a joke was actually a very mean thing to say in front of everyone. For a moment, I thought about just walking out of the room, but I did not get angry or start yelling. I looked her right in the eyes, and I kept my face very still. I told her very calmly, "You are right. He was bigger, and that is exactly why it did not last between you two. He had too much of an ego and not enough real goodness inside of his heart." Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag the turning point at the table, asterisk, the laughter stopped instantly, and the room got cold. Asterisk, Jenna's smile froze on her face like a mask. Asterisk, a very awkward silence filled the room, and it felt heavy. Asterisk, Kyle almost choked on the drink he was holding. Asterisk, her boss looked away because he was feeling very embarrassed. I did not stop there. I stayed calm and said, "That is probably why you chose me. You needed someone who has the patience to deal with the way you act sometimes." Then I picked up my glass of water and said, "Here's to the smaller things in life. They are usually the ones that actually last a long time." Jenna's face lost all its color, and she looked very pale. She tried to laugh and say she was only joking, but the mood was already ruined for everyone. No one wanted to look at each other anymore. I did not yell. I did not lose my cool. Being quiet and sure of myself felt much stronger than screaming ever could. After a few more minutes, I stood up and put enough cash on the table to pay for my part of the meal. I told them to have a good night, and I walked out into the night. When I got outside, the air felt cool and fresh on my skin. I felt a big sense of relief because I had been holding my feelings in for a long time. When Jenna finally came home later that night, she had been drinking wine, and she looked very upset. I was already standing by the door with my bags all packed and ready to go. She asked me if I was really leaving her just because of a little joke. I looked at her and said, "No, I am leaving because it was not a joke. It was you telling everyone what you really think of me. I am not going to stay with someone who thinks my value is just something to laugh at." She started to cry and beg me to stay. She said I was taking it too seriously, but I knew I was doing the right thing. I told her that she had shown everyone how little respect she had for me. I cannot stay married to someone who thinks it is okay to hurt me just to look funny in front of other people. I walked past her and left the house. Hashtag, 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 a new chapter begins, asterisk, 2 weeks later. I filed for divorce to start my life over. Asterisk, she tried to call and text me many times every day. Asterisk, she even came to my job to say sorry and cry. Asterisk, but the respect was gone, and you cannot fix that. I started to focus on making my own life better. I began going to gym every day to get strong. I took a new job that paid more, and I moved into a small apartment that felt like it was truly mine. Some of her friends told me later that she was very sad and did not go out much anymore. I did not answer them because I was moving forward. She made her choice that night, and I made mine. About a year later, I saw her by accident at a coffee shop. She looked very tired and sad. She gave me a small smile and told me I looked like I was doing well. I told her thank you and that I had to figure out how much I was worth as a person. She told me she wished she had never made that comment. I looked at her and said, "So do I? But if you had not said it, I might never have learned what I truly deserve." I left some money on the counter for my coffee, stood up, and walked out feeling very sure and very peaceful. I felt free and ready to live my life with joy and self-respect. It was a hard road, but I made it through. I learned that my happiness is important and that I deserve to be with people who lift me up instead of pushing me down. I hope she finds peace too, but I am glad I chose to walk away and start over on my own terms. My life is now full of quiet strength and a wonderful sense of calm that I never thought I would find again.